Hi everyone. Namaste, beautiful people. Hello. I hope you all are loving on yourself. Happy Monday. Monday is associated with the moon. Hope you all are taking care of yourselves. Hope you all are, pray that you all are doing the things that make your heart sing. Doing the things that bring you personal joy, power, peace, love. Something very interesting came across my feed. A comment, I want to say. And so he commented, I don't know if it's a guy, but hi, welcome to my new subscribers. Let me just say that, okay? Thank you all so much. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for reaching out to me. I really appreciate it because it allows me to help you more, okay? And so just thank you, thank you, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. From my sacred heart space, thank you. And so my intentions is not to speak directly to your mind. My intentions are to speak to the soul within you that is on its awakening journey. My words are for awakening, never for offense, okay? And so that's something that I want you all to know. This is a safe space for you. I talk about all things esoteric. I talk about healing. I talk about using scriptures and Bibles and different literatures psychologically, esoterically, to help you pull back the false layers of your reality. I help you to decipher your reality. I attend to, with your spirit guides and my spirit guides, right? And with the help of the Most High. I cannot do this alone. And when we all can come to a greater understanding that we are never alone, we're able to navigate this realm. I'm getting chills with the highest vibrational frequency we can be in, okay? And so something that's coming through right now is, you know, knowing thyself, especially for my earth angels, star seeds, chosen ones, galactic warriors, okay, archangels, okay, that's something that came up yesterday. Some of you all are awakening to your archangelship. That's very powerful, okay? And so I intend to put the power back inside of you, okay? I traveled I traveled a lot. I've been through a lot of places, and yeah, I just wanted to come on here. And so I had a wonderful person. I don't know if he's a subscriber. I don't know if you are a subscriber. I wish I would have gotten your name so I could have helped you. But I didn't feel like you needed my help. I just felt like this was a very good topic to talk about, which brings me to this. You mentioned that life is illusion, but it's very real, and it has very real consequences. And that is true, right? And so I wanted to come on here and talk to you all about that, right? I've experienced several real events that happened in my life. I got hit by a car when I was 12. I had 13 surgeries on my leg. During one of the surgeries, the doctor cut the artery and I died. Growing up, of course, you know, most of us have rough childhoods, right? And we have these rough childhoods. We assigned ourselves these particular childhoods, environments, so that we can heal certain ancestral lineage. We have made certain contracts with Ayla, which is you all may call Gaia, right? We have certain things that we are here to fulfill, right? You're here to establish a certain awakency so that you can free your lineage also for the future, right? You know, it's that giving that energy of 7 generations past, 7 generations forward, right? So that's why you will be considered the chosen, right? You were chosen to do this, right? And so when you understand that where you come from, right, your origin, your soul's origin, not your human origin, right? You come from the stars. You are that of the universe. That is what you are. It's not separate from you, right? And so a lot of times, you know, we feel the things of the universe. We feel things of people. We feel things of the planet, right? We have certain sight that no others have. We're able to tap into different truths, different realms, okay? And so I wanted to explain that to the person, and maybe this will help the lot of you out there who are navigating this very tumultuous, dense realm, okay? Because it is very dense. It is very, it can perceive itself to be very tumultuous, right? But that's only according to what lens, what woundedness are you looking at your reality through, right? And so I wanted to say, like, I did mention, like, what would Jesus do, right? That whole scenario. And so we all may think of it as being like a conundrum or something that is ironically funny or ironically not funny, but that is the truth of the matter, right? That is like the integral, force that lies within you. Sorry, that is that integral options that we all have while navigating this reality. And so that is something that I wanted to talk to you all about, a very real way that I live my life every day, and it has allowed me to see things from a different perspective. Thank you for that, because it what it does, it helps me to remove masks. It helps me to remove falsities from me according to how, you know, I would have responded had I still been under certain illusions, right? Certain programs, right? I hope this is making sense, right? And so the more I respond differently, the more I get off that particular wheel of karma, the more I say to myself, what would Jesus do in this situation? And I know that its name is Yeshua, right? But it's an energy, right? What would that energy do, right? How would the energy defeat whatever I am faced with, whatever troubles I am faced with, whatever not troubles, but because, you know, there is no right and no wrong, right? There is just the isness of life, right? And so when you get off certain karmic paths, okay, just by responding different or thinking different, thinking a new thought, get chills, having a new way of being, you will often find that you release heavy energy and you gain deeper insights about yourself, right? About the truth of what you are. I hope that's making sense, okay? And so that was something that I wanted to share with you all. I live by that integral space, okay? That space of do no harm, okay? That space of for the goodness of all, harm to none. I live by that space of what would Jesus do? His name is Yeshua or Sananda. I live by that space. That energy appeared to me during earlier in my journey. I get chills. Like, that energy was the first energy to reveal itself to me, like the non-separateness of us. I was it was me, and I understood that was Christ consciousness. We all have that. Some of us, but not all of us. That's why my channel don't resonate with everyone, okay? Because a lot of us are not ready to step into that Christ consciousness, you know, the consciousness of no self, the consciousness of non-dual, the consciousness that there is only universe, that you're not separated from it, the consciousness of I and my Father are one. If you read a lot of those texts, the Nag Hammadis, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Luke, the Gospel of Mary, the Gospel of Peter, the Gospel of Paul, the Gospel of Judas, right? If you read a lot of those, even the Pistis Sophia, it talks about Christ when he ascended to heaven, and how he would make the divine feminine Mary raise her back to be whole, right? And so it speaks about that, and that is essentially you on your journey to rising to what you are, right? And so it is very much a sacred energy. Look at this dude. I just got out of the bath, and my, and so it's very much a sacred energy, and not all of us carry that blueprint, right? And so you're here to be different. You're here to be of this world, but not in this world, right? You're here to live in this world, right? But you're here to create a world within a world. I talk about this all the time when I say you could have been in what people call the GATE program, right? Or I was in a program in high school called Comets, and that was like a school within a school, right? And so that was the frame up for me to understand. Once I look back on my life, I'm almost 50, I'll be 50 next year. That was the frame up of my life, to create a world within a world. Excuse me. I worked at the Border Option Exchange, and with that energy, it's like with stock markets, buying, trading, 11:11 on my timer, selling, you had to learn how to pull into your intuition. I had no idea that that's the reason I worked there. The brokers will often ask me, T, come here, what do you feel about this? What do you feel about that? And oftentimes I'm correct, and I always be like, I don't know what you mean by what do you feel. And they would be like, come on, just feel into it. And they would be like telling me, think of it as a game. The first thing that pop up, what is that? And I used to be like, what? And then I got used to it, and then I started doing it. And then even by me being in the military, I had to learn how to be a team player, right? I had to learn how to understand how the order of things goes, right? I had to understand, saw how systematics, things play systematically, right? That was something that I had to learn, right? A lot of other situations that I've been put in, right? The more you release your program, the more you will gain knowledge, right? And so that's what I mean by illusory, right? When you go and start making decisions from your program, is when you find that you will be into all types of drama scenario, right? Because it's carrying out, it's validating your program, okay? Whatever harsh situation you may be in, it is validating a program that you have inside of you, a belief system, a certain way of being, right? And a lot of times we don't want to accept accountability for those things, and it becomes that, full accountability for your life, right? You have to come to that space of acceptance that my program did that shit, and it's okay. And you got to keep forgiving yourself, and keep removing the mask and every grudge that you have against someone. You better believe it is a karmic contract, right? And everything that happened in your life, it is showing you something, right? With the murder of my son, it was showing me something, right? And so I had to come to a greater understanding of forgiveness. I had to, even with me being shot in the head, I still got the buckshots in my head. So I want to tell you all that life has not been pretty for me, okay? I had so much issues with my self-esteem. I grew up getting the shit beat out of me by a stepfather. I was faced with all of that constant bullying. Things were like that, but that was my program. I was being programmed. Even things that I had no control over, I was being programmed for it, so that I can see through it when I got older, so that I can heal it. And so I've healed a lot of my ancestry shit, okay? A lot of my own personal shit, a lot of collective shit, right? But that's just a part of our mission, right? And so I often, when I'm faced with certain decisions every decision in my life. It's not about religions, because I am neither religious nor spiritual, okay? I just know what I am, and I live from that light. I live from that truth. I live from that love, okay? I live from that protection. I live from that guidance. I had to cultivate this. This has been over 7 years, me cultivating the things that I've learned, and I've been like smacked with several awakenings just so that the Most High can position me in spaces that I need to be in, just like you. I'm not saying this just to say this anything like taking any type of credit for this, right? I'm saying this to say, you, if you're undergoing this and you are experiencing this, right, this is for you to understand that you are always guided. Your life is always learning something, and when you understand the school of life, right, just like when you're in school, right, high school, grammar school, college, right, it is the same thing. It is no separate. And so I really want you all to understand that. I really want you all to ground that as your knowledge, asking the questions. What is this situation teaching me? What is the lesson here? Even with people that come into your life, what are you here? What are you trying to reveal to me, right? Because it is mimicking something back to you. People that come into your life are lessons or blessings, right? Situations, circumstances, right? They are lessons and blessings. You have to discern what it is, right? And so we're always clearing something. We're always healing something, right? And so until you gain liberation, and that is the path that I am on the path of liberation. And so sometimes you have to come to that knowledge, that acceptance that, okay, I'm here to completely drop the mask. I'm here to be the, Buddha, Ascended Master, Yeshua, all of the other ones, like, right? We're here to be Christ-like, all of us, especially if you resonate with being a chosen one, a starseed, a light warrior. You have to drop your mask in order to be able to stand in your power, so that you don't have any bias to it, so that you don't have anything coming up with you and you're operating out of integrity, because you're going to have to operate from your heart space. You're going to have to operate from the space of love. And if you have certain biases about certain things in your life, right, it's not going to work for you. I had to understand that upon doing mediumship, right? And so especially with fear. And so I often understood that when someone crossed over a loved one would come to me, and they would be trying to apologize for certain things that they had perceived that they had done wrong to the person, right? Often when I first started, I would feel a type of way about delivering the message. I would be like, oh, it would feel something within me. And I later understood that that spirit was coming through me. It was like a gift. It was like I was offering a certain type of healing for the person who had lost their loved one, and that particular spirit that came to me was offering me healing in that same area, right? And so it became really easy for me after that, especially with fear. And so when I understood that, okay, if this spirit is coming to me angry or upset, it wasn't that I had an angry or upset spirit around me. It was that was this spirit, that was its human personality while it was here. I hope that makes sense. Like, its personality was a mean ass old man or a mean ass old lady, and they was presenting themselves to me in that way so that I can prove evidence that this lady or this man was a mean ass miser while they were living, right? And so I had to understand that and not take it personal, right? And so it be that way. That's why we have to remove a lot of our shells, because we'll have a certain bias about things. We'll feel a certain type of way about which spirit is coming to us to work with us, okay? I don't go seek spirits. They come to me because I've done a certain amount of healing, okay? And this is for you all. And so when I say that, when I talk about me in this situation, I am a part of you. You are a part of me, right? we mimic each other. Maybe it hadn't happened to you yet, but it definitely will, especially if you resonate with that concept, the gnosis concept of the no self, right? And so that's why when the person made the comment, my heart was just like, oh, like, yes, it is very real consequences out here, but they are made under the illusionary self. Whatever decision that you make according to your shadow, that is the repercussions that will be done unto you. This saying I used to tell my son, he's 30 now, but when he was a young man, I will often tell him the decisions you make right now is going to determine what type of man you're going to be when you're 18, 19 years old. And you know, about early last week we were speaking, and he said, he told me that, he said, Mom, I have to thank you. And he said, you know, I tell people all the time when people like compliment him or him being who he is, he said, I have to give that to my mama, because my mama did that. She instilled those values in me. Okay. And so that was another reason I went to the military, to learn values, to learn the definition of integrity, to learn the definition of one team, one fight, even though that I didn't experience that. But I learned the definition, and it wasn't about me experiencing the camaraderie with them. It was about me coming whole and experiencing the camaraderie with my inner world, with myself, with my guides, okay? I have a lot of water energy in my 7 through 8 through 12 houses. And so that is like, I understood that I was clearing a lot of internal things, okay? Especially with the relationship with myself, the relationship with my guides. I understood that in a past life. I felt left out in the cold. A lot of things that I did moving in my life in a past life, they were purely out of ego. And I felt like I didn't have any protection with me in a past life. And so when I started to awaken spiritually, mind you, I've always been this intuitive, even as a little child. I've always seen things, heard things. I saw visions my whole life. I've seen spirits my whole life. And so, but that was turned against me. It was made to be feared. It was made to be devilish and things like that, right? And you can understand why, because in the past life, right, I probably was like, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to work with no one, because the things that I did in the past life, I wasn't protected, I wasn't guided, I wasn't shown the way. And when I opened up this lifetime, right, it was hard. It was kind of like the belief in that I am capable of doing this, okay? And so when I come on here and talk to you about my experiences, I try to use them as a reference point for you, okay? Because there is no I in team, okay? I want you all to understand that we are all here the same, going through life, experiencing life from where we can psychologically perceive it, okay? And so the more you gain spiritual knowledge, the more you release the more you release your mass, the more you release the heaviness of the happening of your life, okay? The happened, okay, of your life. The more you experience happiness of the happening of your life. Thanks, Spirit. The more you will experience that, okay? And so that's that, you know, I try to stay in that Christ-like energy, that Christ consciousness energy, of integral truth. I try and live from that space, you know. I always sit with myself before I make decisions. I always return home within myself, right? What is best for my soul? What is my highest timeline when I make a decision? So I try not to, thank you for that, thank you. I try not to make decisions from my lower self. I try to make decisions from the higher self, okay? I try not to make decisions out of fear, decisions out of what if this don't happen to me, decisions from confusion, okay? I try not to do that, okay? I will sit with myself. I will return home within myself, okay? And I try to become the guidance that those versions of me need, okay? That is something else that I do when I feel like fear, guilt, shame, or sadness come up when I'm making decisions or when I'm having a conversation with someone, okay? I will sit with that energy, okay? And I will bring it home within my heart space, and I will allow the guidance from my guides to come through and give this version of me that has this fear, sadness, grief, loss, lack, things like that, the answers that it needs to soothe itself. And when you do that, you are essentially soothing your nervous system, okay? You are allowing yourself to feel safe within your body, okay? You are allowing yourself to return home, okay? And so I often, like when I first started on this journey, I had an ancestor or a guide will often come to me and say, you tried the rest, now try the best. And I used to laugh, like, what does that mean? Like, what is that? And so I had to look back on my life and be like, damn, I did try to do it on my own. I'm an Aries. Of course, we try to do shit on our own, but it don't work like that. And so I had to heal those parts of me that always did shit on its own. You see what I'm saying? And so last lifetime I was an Aries, right? That is why it is my South Node, right? And so I'm here to live out of my North Node, which is the Libra house, right? And so I'm here to be balanced in that way, right? I'm here to balance out those inner versions of me. I'm here to live from my North Node, right? And to return home, right? And so that's pretty funny how that came up. Wow, thank you for that. And so I'm here to work with those inner versions of me, all of them, okay? All of the higher realms. When I opened up, who came to me was my son, my mom. Right after my son died, I want to say like 3-4 days later, maybe 5 days later, I was laying in the bed and I wanted to give up. And I was so mad. I was so mad. Like, how could something like that happen to a 17-year-old son? And I remember I said, I'm going to sleep and I'm not waking up. And yeah, I had 2 other children and a whole grandchild, but I was just my heart was just so broken. I was, And so I remember like feeling a warmth wash over me. And I sit up on the side of the bed and I noticed 2 beings, 2 tall light things standing on the side of me. And so I look over at them and I look up and I stood up and I turned around to where my back was facing them, but I can see them hovering over me. And so I look back at them like this and they point at my bed. And when I look at my bed, I see myself laying on the bed, my physical body, just crying. And I was balled up in a fetal position. And as I'm looking at my body, I see my mom's face and my son's voice whisper in my ear, "It's okay, Mom." And I was like, what the? And so I'm looking back at look up at these things like this, and they just like go back, go back to your body. And so when I wake up, I gasping for air. And so I was just like, what was that? And then I hear, go wash the dishes. And so I got up because I hadn't cleaned up. I hadn't done anything. I hadn't bathed. nothing. And so I hear, go wash the dishes. And so I get up and I go and wash the dishes. And it was a lot of dishes because we had people coming over, to give their condolences. They were bringing food and things like that. And so my radio turned on by itself. And then the song, Faith Evans, I'll Be Missing You, just came on the radio. And I just start crying, I start breaking dishes, just grieving, just throwing dishes and stuff like that. And I feel a warmth come over mine. And I look behind me and I see my son in like pixelated pixels. It was like, how like the background, so say for instance, if this me, right, and this background is behind me, he was invisible to where he was the kitchen itself, but it was pixelated so that I can see it separate from the kitchen. it was like a piece of the kitchen that was moving, like the invisibleness of it, right? So that had me to understand, right, that he's here. And then I later understood, I had a dream with the Most High was saying that through me, I allow you to communicate to us. And I have woke up and I was hearing that all the time. Through me, I allow you. Through me, you do this. Through me, you do. It was just always through me. The Most High was saying that. And so I wound up meeting a lot of people that was coming to me who were losing their children or who had just lost a child. And so it's that type of energy, okay? And so I want you all to understand, the point of that is removing your mask so that you can see the truth of what reality is. I had a spirit, wow, come to me saying to me that it felt like he killed himself. And he said it felt like he had took off a virtual reality set. And then he said to himself, damn, that shit felt real. And I was like, wow, like, and then 2 days later, a young lady reached out to me to do a reading for her, and I was able to deliver the message to her, right? And so it's very much giving, like, in order for you to navigate your reality, you have to make decisions from your highest version of you. And you have to make decisions of the heart, okay? And so that was something that I wanted to share with you all, okay? Not for a grief session, not for anyone to feel bad for me or anything like that. My son has been gone for 7 years. Well, not gone, okay? And he passed away 9918, September 9th, 2018. So that's a 999. He was done. He didn't have any children. He's not coming back. His karma was done, right? And so it's just, sometimes you have to come from that space with understanding life, learning the deeper meanings of life. You have to ask, okay? And so that was something that I wanted to address from the person who put the comment in, what would Jesus do? And we're talking about the Christ consciousness. How would the Christ consciousness handle this situation, right? And when you step into that energy of that space, you're stepping into your highest guidance, okay? You're stepping into clarity. You're doing things with the highest integrity, with harm to none and the goodness of all. You're doing things of the highest timeline. And when you rotate in that fashion, right, you release certain karmic blueprints, okay? And so we have inner earth here, Hathor light codes, angelic frequency, and halls of learning. So this feels like you're learning a new way, okay? Base chakra, strength and security, laying foundations. And when you do things like that, you lay new foundations for yourself, because when that energy comes back around to you, now it is your dharma, right? It is no longer karma, because you're not moving from karmic mask, right? You're moving from the highest version of yourself, right? And it becomes your dharma, okay? And then we have Hathor light codes. This is love, right? This is that inner truth of who and what you are. This is that sun energy, right? This is alchemy, right? This is turning lead into soul, wow, yeah. Turning lead into sun, which is your soul, right? That's why Most High calls us golden children. Everyone is not going to resonate with that energy, okay? That is that gold light behind your head. That is that energy that you receive from the Christ consciousness, right? That is that saintly energy, yes. That is that earth angel energy, yes. That is you, okay? And then base chakra, that is lead, right? That's crazy. And then we have light immersion, full strength upgrade, power recall, right? And then you're learning, how bright this card is. You're learning more about yourself, right? It's that golden child energy, right? Oh, I kept getting the chills. Okay, then we have angelic frequency. Angels are here. You are safe. You have a very potent connection. Look at that. You all could be earth angels here. You embody that energy, okay? I did mention about you all are stepping into your archangel energy, okay? I did mention that he's here. It's called this gold energy, halls of learning, spirit guides, confirmation, great lessons, right? let me tell you, if you can't navigate this physical world, you're not going to be able to navigate the spirit world, right? And that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn how to navigate this physical denseness, right? There is a great spiritual war that is happening. Just heard that. And so you all are light warriors. Your light warrior energy is activating. Wow. And that's why you come here. You come here to learn things, okay? The denseness of it. And it's like when you navigate this realm, you become unstoppable, I'm hearing. Unstoppable to spiritual forces, okay? Because they can't stop you. Because it's the way that you learned here, through the heaviness, through the denseness of it, okay? Well, let's get some of these cards, some fortune telling cards. What would you like the collective to know? Halls of initiation, secrets revealed, treasures uncovered, initiation is happening, okay? We have the Sirius star blessing here. You all could be, your souls could be from the planet Sirius, okay? You proceed, yes, proceed to be seen, push through. And then we have sacred inner space, sacral chakra, tenderness, sensuality, okay? We have Arcturian light code. You could be from Arcturians, okay? You could, angelic is where you come from, okay? The Hathors, you could be from the Hathors, okay? Arcturian, you could be from Sirius, okay? Atlantis is here also. Oh, crown chakra upgrade is happening. The Holy Spirit, some of you all could come straight from the divine, right? That's where I come from. I come straight from that energy. And so this is just my spiritual truth, the knowledge that I have about myself, okay? And it's when you stand in that knowledge, you stand in that authority. What did Ascended Master Yeshua do? He healed all. He had compassion for all. He suffered the little children not, right? And he says, verily I say unto you, until you return that of a child, right? That is you having that inner childlike wonder, okay? That is what taps you into the Most High. You being childlike, you returning back to that of a child, removing all of your damn masks, going back to the pureness of who and what you were before you gained your mask, okay? And so, man, what was I gonna say? I'm getting chills. So it's just around me. My goodness. The all is all. That's where you come from. You all come from the all. Saying the Master Ezra, thank you. Saying that how did he cast out demons and devils? Right? He ain't play with them. Like, Mr. Master Ezra was cutthroat. Be gone from me. Like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, do not talk to me. Come from that man, right? Go on and the legions, like, please don't hurt me. And they like like put us in the pigs and shit like that. And then Master Ezra like, go to the pigs, but you still gon', you know what I'm saying? You're still gonna perish. And what them pigs do? Ran off the cliff and went into their death, right? It's giving that energy, and you standing in that energy, right? Man, your authority, your power, right? I want you all to understand that I make these videos, my guys, your guys, for you to activate, like, Holy Spirit, activate that energy, okay? Because it is not separate from you. You guys are powerful. You are beautiful. You are loved. You come from nothing but love. And that's how I operate. I operate from love. And if it's not, if the decisions that I'm making is not done out of love, I don't do it. If I'm having a conversation with someone and if it's not out of love, I don't have it. It's just that. It's what I do. I don't know how else to say that. I wanted to get some of these fortune telling cards to see what is being activated within you all at this time. Just gonna allow whatever to come out. I didn't want to be on here too long, but I did want to address the person who commented that, okay, so that I can help you, your guides can help you, you know, navigate your life to where you're not seeing things from the wounded perspective, okay, or suffering consequences. I'm not saying that you are doing that, okay, but this advice, maybe it will help you see things differently, okay? So you're just not shitting on yourself all the time. Oh, I used to have a friend, when I was younger, she used to always say, like, life is a bitch, then you die. Life is a bitch, then you die. And I used to be like, that was just so, like, harsh. Like, why would you say that? And she always be like, yeah, life is a bitch. And things happen to you and nobody. And so, yeah, like, when you believe that, come your belief system, it becomes very real for you. And so I understood that, like, the injustice that my physical version of me, right, has perceived, right? My son being murdered, no justice, right? Me being hit by a car, no justice. Me being shot in the head, no justice, right? Things happening to me with no justice, right? That could have been a part of my reality, right? But it's not supposed to be. You have to overcome your reality, okay? You have to see the lessons. You have to see. You can't pour new wine into old wine skin, okay? I don't know why I'm using these terms. It's just what's coming up, okay? And so we have a love run from the past will re-enter your life, okay? This is something that you need to know. I feel like somebody's going to have a baby and their baby will be reborn, okay? A powerful transformation is underway. Trust the process. We have the path ahead is illuminated. Follow the light. So you all are already, like, seeing this. Look at this alchemy. This hand reminds me of the whole alchemical process. If you look at what alchemy is, you see the hand and things like that returning to whole oneness, okay? A mysterious message will reveal your true path, okay? Pay attention, all right, to the messages that you are getting. You may hear it from someone just talking. You may piece it together, maybe on TV, synchronicities, billboards, okay, books. Pay attention, okay? A time of great prosperity is coming. Prepare yourself, okay? You guys are very prosperous because you're stepping into your, like, in my meditation or vision, okay, Spirit, I saw, like, many people being getting, like, crowns put on them, like spiritual crowns. 4111, it's Archangel Gabriel. 411, I saw many people, like, crowns being put on them in my vision, in the meditation. And so Spirit wanted me to talk to you all about meditation, okay? And so this was something like, okay, so if you all are trying to achieve inner stillness, it's not time for you, okay? And so I'm saying that to say, allow what needs to come up, right? So if you're sitting in meditation and your mind isn't stopping, that is because that mental chatter wants to be witnessed. It wants to be heard, okay? It is that version of you that is still trying to understand and process life. So you allow that energy to just continue to flow. The one thing that you can do is not attach to it, right? It's just say, like, if it's a friend that is nagging, it's a friend that is complaining, it's a friend that is showing concern, and you're just listening to it, you're witnessing it, right? You are bearing witness to it, right? So be that way when your thoughts won't calm down, okay? Just witness it, okay? Just witness it. That's all you're here to do. And then you will find later on, like, maybe when you come out of it, you may get downloads as far as what that version of you needed to hear, right? You will find out why it's complaining, right? Why is it fearful, right? So that is something that helps me. When I meditate, I just allow it to be. I just listen to it, right? I listen to its concerns. I am sitting with it as if I am its higher self. I hope that's making sense for you all. Yeah. That's what I do, sit with it as if I'm its higher self. Witness it, observe it, okay? And when it's time for you to gain deeper levels of stillness in your meditation, then it will happen on its own, okay? The pauses, right? The stillness between the pauses. That's how it happens for me once I just allow it to be and just don't sit with it, right? Just sit with it. Don't attach to it, right? And then when it stops, it's the stillness there. I don't know how to say that. A guardian angel is watching over you. Feel its presence, okay? Angelic frequency is here. Wow. A sacred ritual will bring you clarity and insight. Do rituals according to your own will, Okay, don't do rituals according to find a ritual off YouTube, whatever you want to do. Remember, you are the creator, right? In your own reality. So you just create your ritual, okay, and put it in a notebook and see the outcome of it, okay, and write about the outcome. Could be 4404, protection. You are protected. This could be a certain type of grimoire for you, okay? And then your intuition is your greatest strength. Trust it, okay? Your intuition is very loud and clear. So trust that. And then a mystical force is guiding you. Trust its wisdom. Come on, guys. Like, look at that. Let's go, right? The magic within you is growing stronger. Use it wisely for the goodness of all, harm to none, right? Let's go. This is good energy. And so I hope this makes sense for you all. No offense to no one. I'm not here to hurt anyone or offend anyone. I just wanted to gain, to help someone who may be experiencing some type of heaviness in their physical reality. I'm going to get some angel numbers and I'm going to call it a day. Well, okay, 4444. Because I was going to say 4444 because my timer was just 44445. This is here, okay? Blessings in disguise, okay? Something is going to happen that you didn't know you needed. 2121, energy levels, prosperity, harmony, journey, patience, discipline, focus, trust, relationships. If you're seeing this reading was for you. Clarity, patience, momentum, insight, happiness, progress, self-discovery, unconditional love. That's the frequency 4544. Okay, that is the energy you need to be in. Okay, unconditional love. Forgive it all, love it all. Okay, send it back with love. Okay, send it back with love, right? 1010. Cycles are being completed. Trust the journey. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Good luck is here, okay? What else we have? 222, alignment. You guys are in alignment for something great. I'm feeling like this is like October energy. The veil is very thin. 333, support, expansion, inspiration, confidence, connection, purpose. Mastery, right? You guys are mastering yourselves. 1011, take action. 2323, endless cycles, okay? Charisma, communication, society, movement, journey, repetitive patterns, transformation. You may find yourself repeatedly resisting certain truths, okay? This is something that I was just talking about, right? You have to accept a certain truth in order for this any cycle to leave out of your life, okay? Leading to feelings of exhaustion and limitations. It's time to decide to live authentically for yourself. Embracing your passion. By making this change, the world around you will begin to follow suit, breaking the cycle and fostering transformation. So this is what you guys are doing, okay? Good for you. 0808, swift action again. Take action, swift action, wealth, empathy, commitment, affection, inner strength, promises, positive outcome is here. 0303, taking chances, balance, cautious, awareness, boundaries, health, communication, serenity, protection. Take a moment to observe the people around you, your environment, and your health. This is a gentle reminder to stay cautious and alert to prevent any future issues. Prioritize clear communication and maintain healthy boundaries to ensure your well-being. Okay, so pay attention to the people around you, okay? You're gonna have to get serious about getting certain people out of your life. I tell you all this all the time. 1441, your unique skills. Something about you is awakening more about your unique skills. And so you're going to have to get serious about the people you have in your life, okay? The Most High is here, 0000, limitless potential, okay? And so, you know, the choice is yours, 1551. We all, you know, we have free will. We can stay in a cycle if we want to. And you can stay, like, feeling sad and sorry for yourself. This is what this feels like. 111, intuition. like feeling sad for themselves, like woe is me energy. I'm sorry, I really feel that energy, and I'm sorry for whoever is experiencing that. Okay, just understand you are never alone. You are always protected. Maybe you can use like labradorite. Okay, labradorite helps me to separate separate energy from me. Okay, it helps me to separate false from truth. And so when I have it on my left wrist, it helps me to separate my truth from some energy, okay, within me. And when I put it on my right wrist, it helps me to clear energy in my outside reality. I don't know how the fuck that happens, but it does. Labradorite is amazing, okay? Those were the messages. I love you all so much. I really want you all to know that. You're my brothers and sisters, and I love you so much. And you're doing a good job, and I'm so proud of you, okay? So please keep going. Please don't give up on yourself. A new chapter is beginning. Embrace the change. A magical moment will change everything. Be ready, okay? So you have a friend in me. Take care. Bye.